Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the PG Show, where we talk about all things college football. Today, we have to talk about a very sensitive subject and a question that's on a lot of people's minds right now for the Oklahoma Sooners. But before we do that, go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comments below, because this question's really bugging me. Okay, so I have seen a lot of chatter on Twitter, the Facebooks, and the radio. And I'm hearing this question a lot. Is Brent Venables the right guy for the job? And this question was thrown around a lot in the preseason. And I think in the preseason, it was fair because Brent Venables has not been a head coach. So because we hadn't seen what he could be as a head coach, there was this like unproven factor, right? So I think the question at the beginning of the season was fair. But here's my thing. For everybody that's jumping off the bandwagon now and saying that Brent Venables should be fired, he's not the right guy, I want to give you guys this. In his first 2 years at Clemson, his defense was not great. Additionally, you see the historic programs with the historic coaches like Nick Saban or a Dabo or an Urban Meyer. They didn't have great hot starts. I mean, Nick Saban, I know a lot of people use this stat, went, I think it was it 7-5 in his first year? It's okay to have a bad year as a first-year head coach, especially with the turnover that Brent Venables has had this year. For those of you who haven't followed the trail for Oklahoma, Lincoln Riley decided he was going to depart for USC after telling everybody he was not going to take the job at LSU in November of last year. And it really left a hole in this team as there was a max exodus to the transfer portal. People left for the NFL draft. Brent Venables was coming into a situation where there was still talent on the team, a very talented team. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you still have guys on the defense like Justin Broyles and Jaden Davis, who I believe are 6-year guys. If I'm wrong on that, anybody please jump down and correct me. But you have other guys like Deshaun White and Agwebu and Stripling, and you have Jordan Kelly, you have Justin Harrington, you have, just looking down the list, Jalen Redmond, Reggie Grimes, DJ Graham, Joshua Eaton, Danny Stutzman, Ethan Downs, Damon Harmon. You've got so many guys on here. Clayton Smith. Like, he had talent, but he also lost guys like Perrion Winfrey, Delarian Turner-Yell, Nick Benito, Isaiah Thomas. These were guys that Alex Grinch had. And mind you, Alex Grinch didn't do anything with them. He really didn't. Okay? That's my point here. Brent Venables is working with 40 brand new guys, whether they're freshmen or transfers. And then also working with guys that were brought in from a previous administration, from a previous staff. The culture is not going to change overnight. It's not. And for us to have the expectations that it was, those were false expectations, including myself. I had the false expectations because things just look so good from the outside. But like we saw for the past 2 Saturdays, they get down and almost looks like they go, here we go again. We're down. And for the people that were saying, well, Alex Grinch was the problem and Brent Venables was the savior, yet he's allowed more points, he's allowed more yards, and his turnover margin is -10 from where Alex Grinch was at last year, you make a valid point. The difference is Alex Grinch had stability. Brent Venables is having to build a completely new defense with, again, guys from a different staff and 40 new players on this team. Okay? It's hard to implement the kind of defense that Brent Venables wants to implement with everything that's going on with the team right now. It's hard. And we have to give Brent Venables the benefit of the doubt that in 2 years he's going to put this thing together, because I think he will. I think he'll put it together. I think this 2024 class is going to be great. Even though in this class we lost David Hicks, I think he's still going to have a top 7 class. A pretty great class in terms of OU history. So, for those people that are trying to jump off the Brent Venables bandwagon, stop. He's only been here a year. You got to give him more time. Ultimately, guys, back your team. I know this isn't the most ideal situation. It sucks. But back the team, guys. Show your support. Don't do this thing where you're like all over the place with them. It's ridiculous. They're going to put it together. Brent Venables is going to put it together. He's going to change the culture. You've got to give it time. Might not look sexy right now in the numbers, but you got to have weeks like you had last week and the week before to be able to improve on. Because if everything runs perfect, you'll never improve. You want to know why Nick Saban is so great? Nick Saban is so great because you're not perfect, and he understands they aren't perfect, that they're always going to be progressing. And that's what you're looking for. The motto should be not perfect, but progressing. Same thing in our lives. In our lives as humans, we should understand that we're not perfect, but we're progressing to be somebody that is a good person. It's the same thing that what he's doing with this defense right now. They're not perfect, but they will progress. Trust in BV, guys. The 76ers did it best. Trust the process. Trust it. Brent Venables will put up that 8th national championship. You just got to give him time. And for those saying that Alex Grinch was a better defensive coordinator, he's had great players here in Oklahoma, and he couldn't do anything with it. We got to come together. We got to support our team, our coaching staff, the players, the analysts, everybody up and down. Dynasties aren't built in one night, guys. It takes time. And I believe OU is going to get there.